everyone. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to present my solution on construction. I'm going to focus mostly on the solution in the governance section. My understanding from the requirement is Constructor's temporary building provides temporary structure for the events, function, university events, etc. And their building structure stays for a week or for a month, depending on the contract with the client. And they have operations in UK, Geneva, and Tilburg, where they have their headquarters. Now, the problem that they're trying to solve is they have right now manual processes, not pretty much integrated, and they are not allowing it to grow. And what they are looking for is to automate the whole process using Salesforce. While solutioning, I took some assumptions. So first assumption is the budget is not constrained, and billing system has an API available for the accept and schedule payment. So we really don't need to worry about a payment gateway and the PCI compliance security, etc. I have also assumed that there are APIs available for the credit check services that we are going to need. At high level, I try to identify what are the actors we have, and as per my understanding, we have mix of the internal and external users. So for the internal user, I'm suggesting a Service Cloud license for the service agent, and the reason for that, we need a Service Cloud voice omni-channel for them. And for the operations specialist, sales rep, and the team leaders, I'm suggesting we should be using a Sales Cloud license. And the reason for that is they are going to have an access to the lead and account and lead and opportunity, basically. For the external user contractors, I was thinking about the customer community license. However, as per my understanding, they are the companies who might need a roles. So I'm suggesting for the contractor, customer community plus license. Quickly going on the system landscape. So in the system landscape, in the red color are the systems that I'm suggesting to decommission. So I'm suggesting to decommission Drupal and replace Drupal by a public community. I'm suggesting replace .NET CRM and inventory system IMS again by the Salesforce. So currently the system that I'm suggesting to retain is SAP ERP Safety First, and also I'm assuming that they are capability going for the credit check. As we can see, there are quite systems are there, and it is possible that we are going to need a lot of transformations, etc. So I'm suggesting to avoid point-to-point integration, and for that I'm suggesting we should be having some USB tool like MuleSoft at BMZ level, so that Salesforce can communicate to all these systems which can be easily manageable. For the data migration, I'm suggesting we should be using some ETL tool like Informatica, which can get the data from the .NET CRM and inventory system, and it can load the data in Salesforce. For the security and the login, I'm suggesting they already have Active Directory and they are looking for suggestion. So they are big Azure shop, so I'm suggesting we should be using Active Directory foundational services for the SAML 2 and single sign-on. Also, in terms of the Salesforce itself, I'm suggesting we should be using the Salesforce Service Voice to replace current IVR system. There are some third-party application like DocuSign that I would be suggesting, and other than that, we have Omnichannel and we have email to case also. For File Connect, I'm suggesting a tool like Box because there is a requirement for the huge file, and we are not going to have storage, I'm afraid. So that is the reason we need to have a smooth integration between the document management system and the Salesforce. For the customers, I'm suggesting we should be having hybrid mobile app, and for the internal user, I'm suggesting Salesforce mobile app. In terms of community, we are going to have a two type of community. One community is for the customers and another community for the installers and the contractors. Quickly going on the data model itself. So my data model is a mix of standard and custom object. So standard object is mentioned in a black font, and custom object is mentioned in the green, and I'm going to explain this while explaining the business processes itself. So quickly going on the sales and the marketing. So my understanding from this is their email campaign right now is outsourced, and they want to move the email campaign functionality inside Salesforce. So I'm suggesting in order to store all the campaign related information, trade shows, etc. in a campaign object here. And one campaign can have tons of lead and contact. So for that, I'm suggesting we should be using a lead and contact and campaign member. Now, in order to nurture the emails, as per the previous requirement, we have a governor limit that in the one day we can only send 5,000 email external users. So I'm suggesting we should be using some external email tool like Marketing Cloud, which is a Salesforce, and we can connect Marketing Cloud with the Salesforce using a Marketing Cloud Connect, so that we can nurture the users as per the need basis. Now for this requirement, they want to visit the prospect, and for that I'm suggesting Salesforce has activities like task and event. So at the lead level, we can use an event to schedule an appointment with the customers, and we can visit them, and all the information about that visit can be stored at the event level itself. For the next requirement, for if the new customer, they want to coordinate with the operations. So my suggestion is once the sales rep visit the customer at the lead level, and they think that it's prospect and can be proceeded, I'm suggesting we should be following the standard lead conversion. So this lead would get converted into account and the contact and opportunity. And after the visit, we can add the default team of the sales rep, which would consist of the operations on account level. So that operations would get an access to account. We can also add them an opportunity so that they will get an access to opportunity. Now, all these solutions are standard and the declarative. Now, for the next one, it is possible that they might need planning or permit, and in past there was some fine where they were not able to decide that if the permit is needed or not needed. So for that, I'm suggesting we should be having some another configuration custom object where we will have some kind of the rule saying that the permit would be needed. Let's say if the deal size is this or the account location is this, those information is not very clearly mentioned, but we can certainly automate it. And to automate that, I'm suggesting we should be using a before say flown opportunity itself, and on the basis of the rules that we are going to have, we can mark a field as saying that the planning permit is needed or not needed, so that we will not miss the requirement. Now for the next requirement, the reps will take the pictures of the construction area and their iPhone, and they will want to email to the operation. Now email is a very old, and it's very hard to track. So my suggestion is we should be taking a picture on the smartphone, and all the employees have a Salesforce mobile app. So they can upload the picture on the opportunity itself from the Salesforce mobile app, and we can use a chatter for the collaboration. And the ops are anyways added as an opportunity team, so we really no need to exchange the emails, and all the information can be tracked at opportunity level. Now, when we are using opportunity, I am also suggesting that we should be using a product and the price book entry. So at opportunity level, whatever the product we want to sell, we can keep adding the product. Now, Salesforce also out of the box supports quote. So I'm suggesting we should be using quote as well, because there is a sales process where we might to go back and forth on the pricing and the discounting information, and the quote automatically syncs with opportunity product. So sharing the personalized estimation, the quote would be easier here. Now going on the next requirement here, there are multiple structures that can be constructed in a single way. So like I said, I will suggest we should repurpose the product object itself for the structure and its variation, and we can use a price book to decide the base price. Now the next requirement is there are some different bundle, and they want to automatically add the dependent products itself. So I'm suggesting we should be using a custom object saying product bundle, that what is the parent product and what would the list of the child product. And as using this object, we can create a parent-child relationship here. And to whenever opportunity products get added at the opportunity, we can have after say flow again the declarative solution on opportunity product itself. It will see if any opportunity product that is parent got added, we would automatically add all the child to that opportunity, so that we are not going to miss anything. Now here I did consider that we could leverage some other external tool like CPQ provided by the Salesforce, but in my opinion, just to add the dependent product to the opportunity, CPQ would be a little bit overkill. Going to the next requirement, again, sales rep generally sketches the layout and they want to email. For that, I'm suggesting they already have a Salesforce mobile. We should be able to use a Lightning Web component and HTML5. And with some minor programming and customization, we would be able to sketch on the iPad or the iPhone. Now, I did consider custom mobile app because we need to have some touch screen kind of the feature. But again, same, just for this feature, building the completely custom mobile app would be kind of not recommended, because it is going to be increasing project cost, and it could also impact the timeline. For this requirement about the discount, maximum discount field we can have at account level for each customer, that okay, what is the maximum discount, like 10% and 15%. And then we can use a standard approval process at opportunity level itself. So let's say if the total number of discount that was given at any opportunity product level, let's say exceeds something, we can stamp opportunity saying that it broke the discount rule, and then we can have some automation tool like after say flow on the opportunity itself, which will submit it for the approval process. Now in the approval process, there is a need that either area operation manager can approve or it can be approved by regional OM. I would suggest we should mark regional OM as a delegated approval for area operation, again all out of the box. So any one of them should be able to approve the opportunity request if the more discount has been provided. For the another requirement, this is very interesting. So when they are selling the temporary building, they have assembly, de-assembly, and the daily rate. So again, here also, when we are adding any opportunity product, we can decide what is the unit price and what is the list price. And we can have a simple formula here saying that the unit price equals to base price of the assembly and how many days we have to keep it, and then removal price, and that would be automatically calculated again on opportunity product itself. So once we get the right information at opportunity product, final amount filled at opportunity would be automatically calculated. Now the next requirement is about capturing signature. And here I'm suggesting we have to take a decision buy versus build, because Salesforce out of the box does not give the capability for the digital signature. So here, first of all, for the digital signature, we need to provide them the document for the signature itself, that what is the final price that we agreed. For that document, I'm suggesting, I considered some app exchange product like Conga Composer, but Salesforce out of the box already gave the code document. We don't need to do anything special here. Code automatically syncs with opportunity product, and we can have a code template to give the personalized estimation. Now in that code template, I'm suggesting we should be having a markup field, a signature field from the DocuSign. And this code template can be the input for the DocuSign itself. So we would be able to handle this requirement. Now at this point, once we get the signature and the opportunity state is closed won, we should be automatically creating an order for the next step, where we have to start booking the asset and everything. Going to the next requirement about operation. So first thing they have to do is they need to carry out the credit check on the new customer. Again, it was not very clear that when they want to do the credit check, but I'm suggesting we should be doing a credit check on opportunity itself before making opportunity close one. And for that, I'm assuming we have an API, and for that we can use a flow. There would be quick action at opportunity level saying that credit check. That flow will invoke API via MuleSoft. We don't need any Lightning Web component. We can use declarative solution like external services, which is on the basis of Open API. And whatever the response we get from the credit check, we can store that response either on opportunity as well as on account as well. The next requirement about they have inventory management system, where they want to find the equipment that is listed on opportunity at opportunity product level. Now we already have an order, all order line item got covered here. So I'm suggesting, initially I thought that for the inventory management system, we should be using some app exchange product. However, the requirement is very clear here that all they need is they have a depot. Each depot can have different product with the start date, end date, and availability and scheduling. That would be pretty much available using custom object as a location, which is we consider as for the depot, and that depot would have the list of all the product that is available. So I would suggest that order level, I would be providing some programmatic solution, like for example, some Lightning Web component. That order, they will click on the Lightning Web component. That Lightning Web component will give you kind of the wizard one by one that, okay, you have, let's say 10 order line item, and you need to have a 10 booking of asset on that location. If we don't give the Lightning Web component, that it would be kind of a lengthy process for them to go each product at a time and try to do the booking, and we can automate that process with the help of some programming solution here. Now the next requirement is if the product is not available, they should try to search for the nearest depot. So again, as we are already using a Lightning Web component, we can search all asset in the bulk, and if not found, the same Lightning Web component can search the nearest depot. Now at the depot level, I'm suggesting we should be having a geolocation field so that we can use a Salesforce SQL distance formula to get what is the nearest depot from there. And on that depot, we can try to find the asset that, okay, between this start date and end date of opportunity, do I have any asset available or not? Now, the next requirement is if asset is not available, they want to start the procurement process. So as for the procurement process, we don't need to go negotiation or any deal or anything. We can use an order itself. So I would suggest at the order, we should have a 2 record type. One record type is for the installation, assembly, and another record type for the procurement. And then we can create an order for the procurement directly. That's how we can repurpose the procurement process itself. Now the next requirement is ops then assign a job at the team lead. So here we used an opportunity for the sales process. We used kind of the order for the booking information and committing a customer saying that, okay, we are going to deliver all this order at your site. But now we have to think about how we are going to install these building material. I thought about reusing order again, but it would not be very clean solution because it would kind of the confusing that, okay, the same object we are using for the booking and then same object we are also using for the installation process. So I'm suggesting we should be using another standard Salesforce object, which is a work order. And work order would be having all the information about that, who is the team lead and who is going to install this temporary building there. So for the next requirement, each asset has a separate maintenance schedule. So I'm suggesting the maintenance schedule can be at the product level itself. So basically all the asset is also going to have the product lookup. So I have written the product 2 times for the simplicity of use, but schedule can be at the product level saying that this type of the product needs schedule 2 years, 2 times a year or once time in a quarter. That 2 or 3 field can be at the product level. That will help us scheduling the asset itself. And we can store frequency there. Now the maintenance require vary in terms of skill set. So different type of the maintenance would be used by the required different skill set. Now at this stage, I did consider field service lightning because field service lightning supports maintenance plans, skills, etc. However, the field service lightning is also used for the lot of other use cases like optimization, workload, find the shortest time, shortest distance, minimize the daily commute, etc. We really don't have that such kind of the requirement. All we already know a product, we already have a schedule, and all we need to figure out is just create that schedule in advance. So I'm suggesting not to use any field service lightning product here. We can simply use a batch Apex, which would run nightly, and nightly it will see the product level for each asset, and it will create maintenance 3 months in advance. Now we already have a booking object where this product is going to be booked for this order. We can leverage the same booking object with another record type saying that this booking is not for the installation, but this booking is for the schedule. And the relation between booking and the asset is a master detail. So anyone who has an access to asset would also be having an access to the booking. So for all maintenance carried out by the external employees. So for that external employee, we are already giving them customer community plus license, and booking record would be owned by the external employee. Not really the booking record. We are going to use a sharing set basically to share this booking record. And at asset level, we have out of the box field saying that the asset is going to be serviced by which user. So we will just populate the contractor information at the asset level so that the contractors would have an access to an asset and it's a booking information here. Again, we are reusing the booking record itself. So the Lightning Web Component or anyone in the future who is trying to book that asset would not be available for the booking. So we really no need to do anything special here. Going on the construction, assembly, and the inspection process. Team leader, we can add an opportunity level because they want to see all the information that was sold. Work order is also going to have a relation with the opportunity. So whoever is the owner of work order, they can go and they can check at opportunity level or the order level, saying that what are the original product that we have sold them. They also want to double check the inventory. Now all the inventory information is already at order level. We are managing that with the help of the booking object. So they can simply go at the booking level and they can see what is the inventory start date, end date, and when they are supposed to arrive. So that all information would be available here for them. The next information is they will carry out a site inspection and take the photo. And now the photo, again, we are using opportunity file for the photos. We are going to use work order also as the photo. As we have seen, there are so many places where we want to take a photos, and I'm afraid that we might run out of the file storage. So we need a very solid document management system. That's where I suggested we should be using some external tool like box.com, which supports the file connect, and it would feel like all the files are attached at the work order level, but actually they would reside externally. They will document everything through the build photos. This we already discussed. Now, after the assembly, they will complete all the inspection, and so they have external system named safety first. So on the work, whenever work order gets created, I'm going to raise a platform event from the work order. MuleSoft would be listening to the platform event, saying that work order get created. Then MuleSoft make another Apex, another API remote calling to the Salesforce, get all the product that have been added as a part of order. Then it will make a call out to the safety first. Now, safety first application has all the rules saying that how many inspections needs to be done. So let's say there are 10 or 20 inspection that needs to be done. I would suggest all those 10 or 20 inspection lists should be created as a task on the work order itself with the title as the inspection needed, so that everything can be tracked at the work order level itself. We really no need to go anything custom or customization, because that is available all out of the box with the help of integration here. Uh, when inspection and everything is completed, again we are using a task on the work order. If there is any issue at the work order, let's say something is not good, we can keep using the task itself with the different subject saying the issue. I thought considering case object itself, but again there is no SLA, there is no team. We do know that if there is going to be any issue, that would be handled by the manager itself. Once all issues are resolved, customer needs to sign off. Now we already have a DocuSign in place. We can again have another DocuSign document that can be digitally signed by the customer, making sure that they are good with all the assembly and all the other information. For the de-assembly, again, we already have for the de-assembly. So one work order we created for the assembly. For the de-assembly, we should create another work order. We can have a type field there saying that this work order type is for what. And we can use a work order line item to record the damage. I have not mentioned work order line item, but there is again out of the box project object available, which again have a link with the product price book and everything. Uh, Now work order line item supports price book product, so damage cost would be automatically included. I did consider using opportunity here, but the damage is really not a profit, not a sale. So we should not be using opportunity to keep our reporting or the sales project forecasting up to date. Now, if a customer incurs any significant damage, I'm already maintaining that field at account level. So if there is any damage or we need some deposit from the next time onwards, we can keep that field at account level. Towards the end, it is possible that they can use some consumable product like gas, fuel, etc. So for that, I'm suggesting we should be creating another child opportunity of the main opportunity, and any extra charge that would be needed, we can keep that charge at the child opportunity level, because that would be nothing but the profit for the constructors company itself. Last section about the service life cycle. I'm suggesting we should be using a service contract if they want to purchase that, and service contract does supports entitlement case, and we can follow different SLA that okay how frequently we have to reply them. That would be done with the help of case milestone. They can connect by email or phone. So I'm suggesting we should be using a service cloud voice for the phone, and for the email, I'm suggesting we can have an email to case. For this requirement, as per type of the severity, we can define a different case queue. We can use a case assignment rule to assign the case to the right person. We will enable setting not to give access to the case if anyone have access to account, because the requirement is not everybody should be able to see the case. And we can use a case team if someone wants some additional access. Coming to the data migration very quickly, we are talking about 6 millions of booking records in the 10 year. So which is of course a large data volume, but it is not something that we cannot manage in single org or in Salesforce. However, I do suggest that we should archive this record after 10 years in some data warehouse. For the file connect, I am already suggesting we should be using for box.com. I also considered they have Azure Big Shop. I'm not sure if they have the licenses, But let's say if they have license to some other application like SharePoint, we can leverage SharePoint as well instead of the box, because Salesforce File Connect does support SharePoint Online also. Quickly going on the reporting requirement. For this requirement, we should be able to use a standard Salesforce report on account, cases, and opportunity. The large data volume right now we have is mostly for the booking, and they want to see the information about the maintenance schedule and the list of asset which are 5-year-old. We have asset, we have a booking information, nightly batch.
Jitendra, just to say 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. So nightly batch Apex will create a maintenance schedule in 3 months in advance, and we can report on the booking of type maintenance. Total record is 9 million. Standard report may not work, so we have to have a load testing in our sandbox, try to identify which field needs to be indexed, like location field, start date, end date, so that our report and the list view can work. For this requirement, we can have a field in account. If any customer is a high risk, we can again use a standard field, standard report on account level. Now, operation requires easily accessible archive of all picture. So we have a file connect, and file connect would work in the context of the record that would be able to resolve this solution. And quickly going to the project and the development requirement, I did identify, first of all, for the project methodology, I'm suggesting we should be using a combination of waterfall and hybrid, waterfall and agile. For integration, I'm suggesting waterfall, and for Salesforce development, I'm suggesting agile, because Salesforce is a rapid application development, and to reap the fruit of the rapid application, we should be able to use agile for Salesforce. Few risk and mitigations. First of all, we are talking about the custom mobile app, which could delay our project timeline. So I'm suggesting we should be setting up a parallel work stream during the project planning itself, so there is no impact on the actual timeline. The possibility of low adoption and high resistance from the user. So I'm suggesting we should be including change management team in the governance body. We should also be able to use a MyTrailhead for the gamification of the internal user, and we need to have a clear communication about the changes for the internal and external user. We should also be adding the SMEs in the project from the business, so that they feel that they own the project during the requirement gathering and during the demo. There are many teams involved and timeline may conflict. So this is very ideal case, and this is where we should be setting up some governance body, get all the team members who is the decision maker in that governance body, and everybody should agree on the timeline and the vision of the project itself. Going to the very clear here. So they have right now code errors, and they want to ensure code quality. So I'm suggesting we should be setting up coding guidelines and the standards by architect review board. And we also be setting up automated deployment pipeline using Azure. So there is no mention of environment management, how they want to do, but I'm suggesting something like this. So whenever any code detected in source control management, Azure DevOps should be able to deploy that code in these different sandboxes. We can use a scratch off for the development purpose. Now, for the code quality, which is a problem they are talking about, for the code quality, we can have a Sonar Cube, and any code error, we should ask a developer to keep committing their code every minimum 1 time and a day, so that we can have a continuous integration running on those code, making sure they are not conflicting with other team members. They want to make sure how to engage the users for the adoption. We already talked about MyTrailhead. You can have adoption dashboard, login, etc. A clear understanding of what is their responsibility during the project. I'm suggesting we should be creating a responsibility assignment matrix, sometimes also known as a RASI. And clearly we would mention their roles, responsibility. We can store that in some ALM tool like Azure DevOps Wiki for easy and the frequent access. Also, they want to have a quarterly leadership strategy meeting. So Salesforce, like I said, is a rapid application system. And to reap the fruit, actually, we need to use agile methodology for the development. And for the integration, we should be having a contract-based waterfall for integration. They would like to be self-sufficient in 12 months. So again, for this, I would suggest they should be training users internally or IT team internally. They should hire a mix of resources who are expert in the Salesforce development, and we can include them in our Scrum team. We can include in their architect team as well. And at the end, we should hand off all the design document and the development document so that they can start supporting the implementation. Quickly, they want to go in the multiple markets, and they want to enable the multi-currency. Now, Salesforce out of the box supports translation workbench. For the customization, we can use a custom label. For the community experience cloud, we can translate experience builder itself. There is also requirement for the multi-currency. So for that, I'm suggesting we should be enabling multi-currency so that it can be rolled out to the multiple region. One important thing, as it's a multi-region, I'm suggesting in the governance body, we should be having a compliance and the regulation team. And before implementing anything, we should be having clear requirement that what needs to be done in order to meet the compliance and the regulatory requirement. So that's all. I think that's all I have to cover. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to present my solution.